Do you think that Michelle Obama's a man?
No,
No?
it's a woman.
I'll give you $10,000. I'll send you a Zelle right now if you can find me a picture of her pregnant.
So you are saying that she's a man?
I'm saying that I've never found a picture of her pregnant and she has 2 kids, so I would just be under the assumption that could be a possibility.
I'm gonna show you.
I'm ready. No results?
No, maybe she had trans or something.
You think, huh? Every woman who has kids has a picture pregnant, especially like a notable figure like that.
She like privacy?
But like you could find Melania pregnant. You could find, anyone else in Congress, Joe Biden, you could find pregnant probably.
A grown man is on a national stage with a microphone and he can say anything in this moment to make people happy, to uplift people. But instead, he says this.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
There's this really weird conversation going on online and on Twitter and in the Reddit threads where people are saying that Michelle Obama is secretly a man. And my question is, what are we basing this off of? Because if it's strictly about the way she looks, let's talk about that. Regardless about how you feel about her, whether you're attracted to her, whether you think she's pretty, regardless about how you feel, a woman is not defined by her face, her shape, her nose, or her height. And let's just be honest, the only reason why people saying that in the first place because she doesn't fit the Eurocentric beauty standard that y'all love so much. If she looked like Sydney Sweeney, y'all wouldn't be saying she looked like a man at all. A woman shouldn't have to feel like the only way she can claim her identity as a woman is if she fits your beauty standard and what you think looks good. No. Love and respect to all the black women who have been carrying families for generations and being the support system so a man can do the job that he's even doing. Whether or not you are attracted to Michelle Obama shouldn't dictate whether or not you're willing to protect her or not. And that'd be a lot of y'all problem because you feel comfortable getting on a stage calling her a man just because you're not attracted to her. But that just lets me know that's how you treat every other woman in your life. You know what I mean? So this is actually bigger than Michelle Obama. And it's really about how we need to get rid of this guy, because when you think a woman is not attractive, you don't see the value in her. And when you don't see the value in her, you treat her less than her human right. You won't even give her the human decency that she deserves because you can't find any use with her. And that says a whole lot about you. I hope that every single woman that rock with you and heard that realizes that I'm not about to give him nothing, because if he'll disrespect a woman like that on stage, then what chance do I stand? Whether you agree with Michelle Obama's politics or not, one thing we should all be able to agree with is making fun of a woman who's innocent and did nothing to you is some corny shit. It tells us what type of man you are, and that is a man who is not honorable, who doesn't have integrity, and somebody who is not worthy of respect.
Recently, I posted a video of Josh Ockett mocking Michelle Obama, and Americans are furious, not only white, all blacks, white, they are furious about this guy. They are saying Obama should take this guy to court because of how he disrespected their former first lady. So now this is what they are saying.
You're not that funny. You're not that entertaining. It's easy. And all you did was perpetuate a racial stereotype that you've been saying for years. Josh Hogan won the biggest fight of his career at the White House and decided to finish with an interview calling Michelle Obama a man. You're a clown. I didn't see it because I didn't have any sound on, but I was, strolling through Twitter, and then, damn, he said that on thing. It didn't get the response that he hoped that it was going to get. I want to make sure there's a certain network that says athletes shouldn't, don't bring sports into politics into sport. Yeah. I'm just saying. She happened to be low hanging fruit. They know that woman. She's not that, but it's good. Just like they know that man was born in America. And the man that pushed that. Now they hate lies and they hate conspiracy theories, but they pushed one for over a decade. Yeah. But that was cool. President Obama should have, you know what he should have done? When he got into office, he should have filed a defamation for $100 billion and then have his Justice Department to pay it off. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah. If I'm Michelle Obama, that's what I'd have done too. Oh, y'all say I wasn't born here. Y'all say my birth certificate bogus. Okay, here we go right here. Boom. Y'all say I'm a man. Okay, here it is right here. Boom. Now this is gonna cost you $100 billion. All right, Justice Department, pay it off. We don't think like that. And nobody thought you were funny. It's easy. And all you did was perpetuate a racial stereotype that you've been saying for years. They said the same thing about Venus and Serena. Every time a black woman becomes something, others, some people from that side try to take a shot at them. When is it going to be enough? Let's just say for the next 20 years, the roles are reversed.
Just after Josh Hokett publicly mocked Michelle Obama by claiming she was a man at a White House boxing event, she responded with 3 moves that turned him into a laughingstock. Public reaction was, and criticism spread online. Instead of trading insults, Michelle Obama answered with a series of actions that escalated the situation. First, she launched a defamation case, arguing that Hokett's comments crossed the line from mockery into attacks. What began as an attempt to gain attention suddenly became a legal problem with consequences. Next came a challenge. Michelle sought court action involving income to UFC Freedom 250. She also pursued damages tied to reputational injury, making it clear that she viewed the comments as then a joke. The third move, even discussion. Michelle announced that any money recovered through the case would not be kept. Instead, she planned to establish a fund through the Obama Foundation to help Black women. The initiative would support health services, training, and programs addressing workplace harassment. What was supposed to embarrass Michelle may have created a bigger problem for Hokett.
Let's watch this.
We've got all kinds of talent out there that are ready to remake the world. And they're also, to Michelle's point earlier, good people, who treat people with kindness and care and consideration. We are fed through the algorithms and just the nature of our information ecosystem. We're told a lot about what's wrong with people. And I spend a lot of time with a lot of different kinds of people, and especially young people. And they're solid. They have good instincts about what they want to see the country be and what the kind of world they want to live in. And I think if we give them the room, if old folks get out of the way, if we are willing to step back and serve as their coach and have their backs and advise them rather than feeling like we are the ones who have to stay on center stage all the time, I think we're going to be okay.
Okay, Michelle Obama, I know you say when they go low, you got to go high, but I'm going to tell you something. On behalf of women, when you face a certain level of abuse for so long and you just keep turning the other cheek, you're not teaching women to be empowered for themselves. You need to sue the mess out of the UFC, out of the UFC fighter that made that horrible comment, and out of Donald Trump, because he's just continued to allow this insanity. And it's gotten way worse the last 2 years. You have been such a classy woman the entire presidency, post-presidency, pre-presidency, and I get it. You don't want to acknowledge insanity by fighting back. But at some point, you have to give us an example of, as a woman, to say, you know what? I'm not going to let abuse continue. I'm not going to sit by and continue to be abused on a national and international stage. So you've got my support if you want to sue the pants off of these people. Because I think at this point, doing so would show women that their value is more than being told that they are misogynistic things all the time. All right, Michelle? Let's do this.
Free speech was on full display last night at the White House 250 card, and I couldn't be happier. It was the funniest shit ever. It's actually weird because it's so rare to actually see people just say whatever they want, like some out-of-pocket shit on air, on TV, in front of millions of people, because free speech has been very suppressed, right? It's very, okay, here's what to say, don't say this, you gotta walk the fine line. And the thing about Dana White and 250 and, you know, Donnie obviously being at the White House, like, none of those people care. Like you could just fire away, say whatever you want, there is no rules. And so people were kind of all over the place. You know, the UFC is already known for just kind of say whatever, whenever type of deal. And when Hokett came up there and said, and lastly, Michelle Obama is a man, I literally lost it, bro. I was like, this cannot be real. As funny as it all was, it was actually kind of a good reminder, like, for me, like, yeah, free speech can be out of pocket. Free speech can make people uncomfortable. It's gonna happen, but you gotta have thick skin, one, and you gotta let it, like, let's bring free speech back, because one, it's entertaining, it's funny, and two, like, that's, how are you gonna tell someone what they can and cannot say? All in all, the death of cancel culture has been the best thing to come out of 2026 by far. So if you're a dude out there and you're constantly, like, thinking about, oh, can I say this, can I not say this, bro, come on, like, it's 2026. Cancel culture is pretty much cooked now, thank God. go on the internet, make a TikTok, say some outlandish shit, post it, and move on with your life.
Josh Hockett is the UFC fighter that called Michelle Obama a man at the White House. He's a misogynist, he's a racist, and he's a liar. Let's go.
But I thought I was giving her a compliment.
I don't think anyone viewed
Michelle
it as such.
Obama being a man, that's like she knows how to deal with adversity. You know, she knows how to work hard like a man. You know, when the times get tough. You know, the
Why does that come to mind in that moment? Like, you just got this massive win of all the things you can say. Why even go there?
I thought it was a perfect opportunity to, you know, show the world how great this country is with the freedom of speech. You know, you go somewhere and you say something like that and you die. You know, and I'm not suicidal, by the way. You know, I'm in good spirits. I'm a little under the weather right now, but other than that, I'm good. And so in other parts of the world, you say something like that, and you're not here to speak to Ariel Helwani, you know. So yeah, I don't know. There's a few ways. There's a few answers to that, you know, and there's a certain side that pokes another side, and there's no outrage there, and so I thought it was a perfect time to take a jab.
Do you regret saying it?
Oh, never.
Oh, did I also mention that he's a piece of shit?
Last night, a UFC fighter screamed, "Michelle Obama is a man," on the White House lawn. Donald Trump was in the front row. He smiled, did not condemn what was said, and no statement has been made by the White House. The silence is the answer. But I want to clarify exactly who Michelle Obama really is. Michelle Obama is a Harvard-educated lawyer. Michelle Obama is also a best-selling author on the New York Times list. Michelle Obama is a mother, a daughter, and she's a daughter of someone from Southside Chicago who made the entire world proud. Michelle Obama stood by President Obama as the first Black First Lady in America while supporting her husband, who was the first Black president. And she did it with dignity. Entering the most scrutinized position, left it with dignity, and handled it with dignity the entire time. They have been trying to diminish this woman and her power since 2008. And while you might not understand how dignity works, what you are doing is defamation of character. She is and always has been America's first lady. Full fucking stop.
Josh, get serious. You just need to apologize.
No one realized that within 24 hours of Josh Hockett publicly mocking Michelle Obama immediately took 3 emergency measures that cost Josh Hockett over $10 million. Recently, at a fighting match held at the White House, Josh Hockett defeated Derek Lewis, achieving his 10th consecutive victory in his professional career. After the match, Hockett personally placed a large gold chain around Trump's neck. Hockett then went on stage to thank Trump, but at the end, he suddenly said into the microphone that Michelle Obama was a man. The entire audience fell silent, and the host immediately grabbed the microphone, preventing Hockett from speaking further. In fact, he was unaware that Michelle Obama had already taken 3 actions that would cost him dearly. First, Michelle Obama contacted the UFC overnight, requesting an indefinite suspension of Hockett. The UFC immediately removed the controversial footage from the replay and terminated Hockett's contract that same day, requiring him to pay a huge penalty for breach of contract. Second, Michelle immediately contacted top lawyers and filed a lawsuit against Hockett. Michelle stated that Hockett's stereotypical portrayal of her was disrespectful to all Black women and that he should be punished for his actions. Finally, Michelle pledged that all the money from Hockett's compensation would be donated to the Obama Foundation to promote the rights of Black women. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't care what nobody say. Now, I don't know if she a man or not. I don't think she is. But I will say, y'all quit lying to this woman, act like she cute, though. Michelle Obama is not a good-looking woman. And it's okay to not be good looking. Everybody can't be fine, like my wife. Everybody can't be fine like that. If you're a good person, then be a good person. You can't not be fine and be mean. You gotta pick one. If you fine, maybe you can have a little rough edges. But if you ain't fine, you can't also not be nice. Anyway, let's go to the next topic. Starbucks. Y'all tripping. I want to GoFundMe for this kid. Can somebody find this kid and a couple of employees that got fired over this? There is no way on God's green earth that you should fire your employees after they had to fight for their lives during a robbery. I'm glad they start throwing them hands.
Donald Trump thought he could instantly take off the necklace Josh Hokett gave him to evade responsibility for the attack on Michelle Obama and avoid being sued alongside the fighter. However, one single move by Barack Obama reduced Trump to a total laughingstock. After defeating Derek Lewis, a fighter favored by Trump, Josh Hokett climbed straight out of the UFC octagon and draped his custom gold chain around Trump's neck. Then, in the post-fight interview, he bizarrely mocked Michelle Obama by claiming she was a man. He made this offensive remark hoping to curry favor with Trump and make the former president's birthday party a success. But Josh never expected that the second he finished speaking, Trump would immediately yank off the gifted necklace. Right after the event wrapped up, Trump called Barack Obama to claim he had no prior knowledge of Josh's outrageous comments and bore no connection to the fighter's words. Trump knew Josh's hateful statement would severely damage his prospects in the next presidential election. Michelle would seize on it to accuse him of perpetuating harmful stereotypes against black women, costing him countless female black voters. But Obama ruined Trump's damage control by reposting Josh's bootlicking clip and blasting Trump. He argued hosting the UFC event and ignoring hate speech made Trump complicit, cutting off Trump's blame shifting. Obama also defended his wife and gained huge backing from black women.
You know, back when George W. was in office, the Bush girls went out partying, his two daughters. It was during spring break, and well, a lot of liberals, they were coming down on them. And I spoke up. I said that we should not be attacking the families. It's not right. His daughters, they didn't run for office. They have nothing to do with policy. And many of my fellow liberals said, well, don't you remember how Rush Limbaugh attacked Chelsea Clinton? She was only 13 years old, and Rush Limbaugh was calling her the White House dog on national TV. And I said, yes, but to echo the words of Michelle Obama before she ever spoke them, we should not be going low. We should be going high when they go low. And of course, in fairness, I think Donald Trump probably would have stuck up for Chelsea Clinton, because after all, we know his fondness for 13-year-old girls. But anyway, when later on, some fellow liberals were talking about what Melania Trump used to do for money before she met Donald Trump in the employment of you-know-who, initials JE, I said we ought not to be doing this. It's wrong to, even though they're being so vicious, we should not be doing the same thing. Well, now this clown, this Josh Hacken or something like that, this fighter that UFC stood up there and claimed and screamed out on the microphone on national TV that Michelle Obama was a man. First of all, any man who questions Michelle Obama's womanhood is no man. And Josh, I got to tell you something. There you are wearing those really tight shorts where everybody can see quite clearly that you share something in common with Tiny Donnie. You ought not to be talking about the womanhood of a former first lady. Matter of fact, you barely have a right to talk about the manhood of any other man. But after seeing that, and seeing Trump has nothing to say about it, he approves of it 100%. Where I will not be talking about what Melania Trump may or may not have done for money before meeting Donald Trump. I will no longer say anything against anyone else who does. Have a good day, my friends.
It's shameful that the Democratic Party says that the president, being a part of Freedom Fest 250, is partisan. The only people making this partisan are the Democrats.
I'm going to stop you right here so you avoid any more embarrassment. Trust me, you'll thank me later. You see, the reason Democrats say that Trump is making Freedom 250 a partisan event is because, well, he is. Do you need proof of how partisan exactly he's making it? Watch this.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
That is why we say that Trump's involvement in the America's 250th anniversary celebration is partisan. That shameful scene you just saw happened at an official event put on by the White House, the institution that represents each one of our 45 presidents, each one of the 47 administrations. And Donald Trump, the current president, decided to invite people who feel it's okay to say something like this in the people's house. Not pundits who speak from their social media account, not lawmakers who represent the legislative branch, but guests of an official White House event. But do you know also why we didn't need this embarrassing moment to know that Freedom 250 is not about America or democracy or history, but it's a partisan event to make Trump feel a little less loathed by the world? Because he told us so himself. And when Trump himself calls it a Trump rally, you know it's a partisan event. We didn't need this guy to open his mouth to know that Freedom 250 was a partisan event. Because the non-partisan event is this one. It's called American 250, and it's a bipartisan, congressionally authorized program to celebrate America. At this point, I think there's only one category of people who still think that Freedom 250 is not a partisan event, and I could sit here and explain who they are, but I think they're too uneducated to understand.
Okay, I'm seeing reports that Michelle Obama is suing Josh Hokett for defamation of character, but I haven't seen any credible evidence. Does anybody know or have any information on that? Because according to reports or rumors, Michelle Obama filed a lawsuit against Josh Hokett supporting Black women through the Obama Foundation, which would be great, which would support basically mental health, job training, and anti-harassment programs for Black African-American women. And that would be fucking great if she actually sues him for defamation of character. I mean, he fucking deserves it. I mean, it's such bullshit. The whole circus was in town in Washington, D.C. while Trump slept. And where's malaria? Malaria is nowhere to be found. I mean, it's a fucking joke. And then the fact that he's profiting off of it, I mean, we're the laughing stock of the world right now. And people support this shit? Come on. God bless America.
I want to ask you about what happened at the White House this weekend. One of the fighters and performing there, I've never heard of the guy, specifically attacked Michelle Obama viciously, poisonously, by name, in a way that everyone there seemed to enjoy. No objection from Donald Trump. He called the guy outstanding afterwards, as he did all the other performers up there. What do you feel when you hear something like that?
Michelle Obama is one of the most dignified people one could ever meet. She served brilliantly as the First Lady of the United States of America. She's a graduate of Princeton and Harvard. It doesn't matter to folks like that. This idea that Black women aren't really women and Black people aren't really people harkens to the darkest days in our country's history. This is not political speech. This is immoral speech. This is bigotry. This is evil come alive in words, because words have power. And if you can diminish people, if you can say that there's something other, then that opens the door for you to unleash the kind of cruelty that we're seeing under the Trump administration. So it was very painful to hear the reporting about this. You know, I've had the pleasure of being in the presence of the First Lady, but when I see this, I don't just think about her, I think about my own sister. Mm-hmm. I think about my mother. I think about the teachers. I think about the women in my church, you know, who have loved this country through its darkest moments, who've always held on to hope. And here we are. Once again, Donald Trump has unleashed a kind of evil in the ether of the American experience. And this is a moral moment in America. And it's time for people to stand up. We know who he is. If that performer, I don't know him either. He's not worth knowing. He felt the license to do that. Mm-hmm. And there are other folks sitting there. Donald Trump is sitting there, the President of the United States. He didn't condemn it. Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, who I hear will be out tomorrow talking about his conversion experience as a Catholic, mm-hmm. talking about his moral bearing. I want to know what J.D. Vance thinks about the First Lady of the United States being treated in this way and spoken about in such awful terms. He is married himself to a woman of color. How would he feel if someone said this to his wife or said this about his wife?
I got a comment, quite a few, from some ignorant white folk when I was talking about the Michelle Obama docu-series called Becoming. And they keep telling me that Michelle Obama is a man and her name is Michael. She's not a woman. And, you know, as a woman who, when I was growing up, I would hear that because I have strong features. You know what? You can't hurt her when you say that. Just like when people say that to me, or they used to say, well, you look like a man. First of all, I know that's not true. Second of all, considering the source and who it's coming from, mostly ignorant ass, racist, bigoted, unintelligent white folk, trust me, when you tell or you say that Michelle Obama is a man, you really think that pierces that Ivy League graduate, that brilliant woman? It never ceases to amaze me how people, when they try to hurt you, will go to the lowest hanging fruit, which is always critiquing a woman's appearance. Because you can't battle her educationally, academically, morally. So you go to the lowest hanging fruit, which is her appearance. So for all of you who want to continue the narrative that Michelle Obama is a man because of your own ignorance, have at it. Have at it. If that makes you feel halfway adequate enough to even be in the very presence of a great woman like that, then have at it. But I promise you, you're not hurting her whatsoever. Nope. Not at all. You're just proving to her what she already knew about you, that you're ignorant.
It's not just that the UFC fighter said Michelle Obama is a man. That's disgusting enough. But Trump apparently was right there. I didn't see it happen, but apparently Trump was right there in the vicinity. Did he immediately grab the microphone and say, hey, that's not a good thing to say. That's a horrible thing to say. Do any of you remember what happened when Senator John McCain, when he was campaigning against Obama for the presidency, and a woman in the audience started to disparage Obama as a Muslim? John McCain went into the audience, physically took the microphone from the woman and said, no ma'am, no ma'am. Senator Obama is a good family man. We just happen to disagree about certain policies. Senator John McCain was a war hero and he had class. Donald Trump is a draft dodger who has no class, never has shown any class. And by the way, of course, Trump literally put down John McCain's service and said he was not a war hero because he was captured. As I've been saying for years, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Oh, and by the way, it's now a couple of days later, the White House has still not pushed back on the Michelle Obama incident. How pathetic is that? How freaking pathetic.
Did you all see the UFC fights last night at the White House on the South Lawn? It was absolutely spectacular. I loved every second of it. And it was our president's 80th birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. President. It was great. But there was one standout performance. One person really, well, they took the cake. And it was Josh Hokett. Let's take a look at Josh.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
A little joke. It was funny. We need little jokes to lighten things up, right? Huh? But there was one person, there was one person that did not like it, Miss Whoopi Goldberg. Let's take a look at Whoopi.
There was also one fighter who used his victory speech to make a derogatory slur against former First Lady Michelle Obama.
Can't handle a little joke, Whoopi? Aren't you a comedian? Huh? You're a comedian, right? And it's derogatory, Whoopi, and that's not what it was. It was a little joke, huh? You can't handle a joke? No? Stop being a stick in the mud, Whoopi.
Can't have that hygiene test anymore because I'm a journalist who needs to interview people and there's no one left if you kind of have those hygiene tests. And you're right. But look, just to go back to your point about fire versus fire, I'm not saying the Democrats should break the law. I am saying that you need to forget about norms. For too long, the Democratic Party was the party of norms. We can't do that because we've never done that before. There's no precedent for that. That would be violating the norms and the decorum and the decency of our politics. It was Michelle Obama, who I'm a great admirer of, going and giving that speech and getting huge applause and saying, when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, you go lower. That is what we have to do in politics right now on the left because the right have no standards left. They're not following any norms. Alistair, let me give you one obvious example. When Biden was in office, there's a thing called a filibuster in the Senate, which allows the minority party to block the president. And the Republicans used it to block much of Biden's agenda. And a lot of us said to Democrats, get rid of the filibuster. It's not in the Constitution. It's not that. Get rid of it. No, we can't do that. It's part of American democracy. It's part of our heritage. It's a convention. And guess what? Now they're not in power. Trump and the Republicans are threatening every day that they're going to get rid of the filibuster.
Yeah.
So this idea that you can just kind of play along and everyone will respect the rules, Trump has made it very clear. His understanding of politics is a mob boss understanding of politics. His understanding of football is a mob boss understanding of football. And you have to respond in kind.
So Josh Hokick, after winning a fight, an MMA fight, on the South Lawn of the White House this past weekend, is interviewed by Joe Rogan and says that Michelle Obama is a man. And I can't believe that even to this day that we're repeating stupid tropes like this. The last time I checked, there has never been a circumstance where a person who is biologically born a man was able to give birth to children. Michelle has given birth to 2 children. And these children look like her. They look like her. I don't know why people feel the need to do stuff like this. I don't know why they feel the need to bring first ladies, or in this particular instance, former first ladies, into political discourse. We didn't do that with Laura Bush. We didn't do that with Rosalind Carter. We didn't do that with Barbara Bush. The only reason we did it with Clinton is because she inserted herself into the national spotlight, the national forum with health care.
So Josh Hockett, the UFC fight champion who made the remark about Michelle Obama at the White House UFC fight, well, he did his first post-fight interview. And of course, he was asked about the comment and the remark that he made about the former first lady. This motherfucker said he don't regret it. He's unapologetic. And what he said should have been taken as a compliment because Michelle portrays a strong woman who can face adversity. And when the tough gets going, the tough keep going. Like what? Motherfucker, you disrespected a former first lady. And you said that expresses or shows the greatness of this country, that you can go out and say what you want to say and not be killed for it. Let's be glad we're not in one of those countries, because if we were, your head would definitely be on the platter, taken to the Obamas. Like, what you did was totally disrespectful. More than half of the country does not support the comment or the remark. And you just totally made an ass of yourself. Period. Like we always say, the Obamas stay at the top of your heads, rent-free in luxury mansions. And you made it obviously so. So again, what you displayed is exactly who we say y'all are. Hateful, racist, and bigots. Nothing changes.
I think Michelle Obama should definitely take a page from Bridget Macron's book and just file that defamation lawsuit. Transvestigating of it all is appalling. It's the fact that Michelle Obama has not been in the White House since Trump was elected, and she's still being attacked by his followers. If you do not understand my Bridget Macron reference, Bridget Macron is the First Lady of France, and she actually filed a defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens for transvestigating her. Yes, the lawsuit is moving forward. And before people say, well, it's freedom of speech, it is not. Because you are claiming that someone is something that they're not, and you're doing it in public, and you're literally trying to, inflict emotional harm. Enough with this, when they go low, you go high bullshit. No, when they go low, we go fucking lower. Enough. Also, the way that this man showed up to the weigh-in, appalling, disgusting. No, I did not watch it. I just watched a video of this man doing the weigh-in, and I was just like, I can't believe we're wasting tax dollars on this.
I mean, at this point, what is it going to take for Michelle Obama to go ahead and file them papers? Baby, you got to remind them you from the south side of Chicago. All the education stuff, we can set that aside right now. You from the south side of Chicago, right? You not going to get on national TV and then try and embarrass my name like that, going to call me a man on national TV at the White House that I used to live in. Ain't no way. Filing papers. Joe Rogan, the dude, the orange man, what was it, Paramount that hosted the show? Everybody got to get slapped with them papers, even the fighter, because we don't even know who he is. File them papers, baby. It's only, you said we go low, they go high. Go straight to the courts. That's how high you need to go, to the courtroom. And you can do that case on your own because you are very talented and educated lawyer. You know what to do. Baby, file them papers. If anything, I know it's going to be our tax dollars because the government did it. Right? File them papers. Sue them folk. They can't keep playing on your name like that. Sue them folk because they keep on playing with your name. We already saw what Will Smith did, and we ain't have to worry about that no more. Filing papers.
Effing with people unprovoked has become a thing. And men bullying women is outrageous to me. It's just outrageous. And we are told repeatedly to take the high road. We're too violent. We're too this, we're too that. I think sometimes the low road is appropriate. But I really think that Barack should use his power to handle Josh, whatever his name is. I can't imagine being constantly attacked like that.
The Michelle Obama is really a man conspiracy theory still being a thing is not shocking to me, sadly. You would think that after she has 2 daughters, one of which looks a lot like her, that these conspiracies would go away, but that's not enough evidence for these racists. And to me, this is just another reminder of just how quickly we are to strip black women from their womanhood. I don't know if womanhood is the right term to use. I'm just talking off the top of my head, y'all. I'm not scripting this, but to me, it's just a reminder of just how quickly we are to, dehumanize black women and to not see black women as being women or just being seen as human. This is something that I've just observed for years now. And also this can tie into transphobic ways of thinking as well. But yeah, it's always sad to see stuff like this.
And they are furious because Trump never said anything.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Black.